Nebraska sucks. You know why they suck? It's not because they don't got talent. They got plenty of transfers. They got plenty of talent to win these games, but they suck because their head coach is a loser. I'm not beating a man when he's down. I'm telling you the cold hard truth. And just like Plato said, no one is more hated than he who speaks the truth, so you can hate me all you want. Oh man, it's back. Ladies and gentlemen, college football is officially back, and it feels like it was just yesterday Georgia and Stetson Bennett was beating Nick Saban and Alabama in the championship. The sport we all love the most, or at least I love the most, it has finally returned, and this is why I think it's the greatest sport of all time, because we already got chaos happening, and it's not even week 1, it's week 0. I'm just going to title this video, College Football is Getting Ridiculous, because it's not one thing, it's not two things, it's like 5 to 6 different things going on. I'm going to let you know right now, if you're a casual fan and you don't keep up with it too much, you might get lost in this video. There is so much stuff going on, and you already know we're going to talk all about it. Just like we normally do on our Sunday videos, we recap what happened on Saturday. We're going to go over some of the games, but the main game we're going to go over and talk about is what happened to Nebraska. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but I got a lot to say about it, because your boy Matt, I hate to toot my own horn, but I was right once again. I said this stuff last year, and some of you are probably going to remember this, how all these Nebraska fans say, oh yeah, we may have went 3-9, but we're the best 3-9 team in the country, and we're rebuilding. And what did I say to that? No, Nebraska, you're not rebuilding, you just suck. Let me calm down. I don't want to get too amped up. We just started the video, but whenever I get onto that topic, it's going to get heated. We're also going to talk about something that I found rather interesting, and that is some people feel like ESPN and College Game Day, they're using Lee Corso. That's a big mess. We also got to talk about the Big Ten and what's happening there. I'm extremely excited for this season, and I want to let you know right now, no intro, none of that, but starting next Saturday, yes, 9/3/22, I will be streaming on College Football Saturdays. Every Saturday, I will be streaming some of the biggest games. I hope to see you there, and I haven't decided on this, but I may try to do a College Game Day type of morning show from about 8:30 to 9. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm talking about Central Time Zone. I haven't decided on that, but most definitely streams are happening this year, and it's going to be awesome. Like I said, no intro. If you like college football content and videos like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you here, and we're on the road to 1 million. The first topic we got to get into, and I couldn't wait to talk about this. I think it's the most intriguing part. That's why I want to talk about it first, is Nebraska football and Scott Frost. Where do I even begin with this? There's so many places you could start. How about this? And we get this out of the way first. Yes, it's embarrassing to lose to Northwestern. It's embarrassing to do an onside kick up by 10. We'll talk about that in just a second. And it's also embarrassing to blow a double-digit lead. However, in my humble opinion, the most embarrassing part about this game was you allowed Northwestern to gain over 500 yards of total offense. Some of you may be sitting there saying, yo Matt, 500 yards of offense, yeah, that's a lot, but it's 2022, it's all about the offense, and I understand that. But, and I have a huge but, it's inexcusable, when I bet a lot of you didn't even know this, Northwestern was the worst offensive team in the Big Ten last year. This team last year only gained 322 yards per game. That's pitiful. To go on top of that, the offense only scored 16.6 points per game last year. And you allow Northwestern, and don't take anything away from Northwestern, they are a solid and nit and gritty type of team, but they are not an offensive team. If Northwestern is going to beat you, it's normally going to be in those 17-14 slugfest type of games. And I also want to get this out there before I forget, I love their head coach. He has done such a phenomenal job over the years. And I kind of hate this, and it's the reality and the way it is. Nobody's going to give credit to Northwestern. We're just going to talk about, oh yeah, Nebraska, they blew it again. I always love giving credit when it's due. You got to applaud it to Northwestern. I thought they played a solid ball game. I'm going to show you these numbers right here, and looking at the box score just mind boggles me even more, because you look at it and you go, how in the heck is this even possible? You allow Ryan Helinski, no disrespect, but it's Ryan freaking Helinski to go 27 for 38, have 300 yards with 2 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. He had a QBR 86.7, but if you watch this game, you know he played a flawless game. It was almost perfect. You allow a Northwestern quarterback to go off on you, which is embarrassing itself, but you also allow them to run all over you whenever and however they want to. One running back had 120 yards, averaged 5 yards a carry. The other had nearly 100 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry. I want to emphasize this, and Nebraska fans, I feel bad for you, but it's the harsh reality. Whether you would have won or lost this game, there is still so many red flags and so many concerns. Concern number 1 is you have a loser of a head coach, and that entire culture you have right now, it's a bunch of losers, and I'll touch on that in a second. Concern number 2 is your defense is pitiful, and I right now think I could go out there and throw for about 350 yards on them, and I haven't thrown a football in 4 years. Concern number 3, and it goes hand in hand with being a loser and the entire culture there, you blew another double-digit lead, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they blew 2 double-digit leads in that one game. Your quarterback, Casey Thompson, I don't know what changed. I don't know what flipped. In the first half, he played like Joe Burrow at LSU. In the second half, he played like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. It just seemed like the second half, he could never find his rhythm, and nothing was working. He finished the game going 25 for 42, 350, which was awesome, had 1 touchdown to 2 costly interceptions. The last and final interception, which ultimately put the nail in the coffin, was when he threw that extremely fast bullet pass, and maybe, yeah, the guy should have caught it, but I'm in defense of the receiver or tight end, whoever it was. He threw the ball 100 miles per hour and he was only 5 yards away. The one thing about Casey Thompson that I don't like is he has no touch on any of his balls. It doesn't matter if he's throwing 70 yards or 7 yards, he's going to throw it 100 miles per hour, and he needs to fix that. That's besides the point. Even if he doesn't throw an interception there, Nebraska would have blew it. That's just what Nebraska does. I've always found this really debatable, and sometimes I go back and forth and I don't know what to think for myself. And I think a lot of you're going to be in the same boat as me on this. Whenever there is that last final interception, fumble, or one bad play, as fans, we always look at it and go, okay, that's the play that cost us the game. But in reality, one play never cost you the entire game. There may be a big play at the end, like a Hail Mary, the kick 6 that Auburn did against Bama, or something like that, yeah, we're going to remember, but it wasn't the entire game that it really cost. You can always point to different things, so I don't think that interception at the end that cost Nebraska the entire game. And I'll take it a step farther. I would not blame that loss on Casey Thompson, and if I'm a Nebraska fan, which I'm not, but if I was, I wouldn't be mad at him. I thought he played okay. I didn't think he played great, and I did not like the interceptions, and I think he's got a lot to work on, but I didn't think he lost you the game. For me, watching this live, and I couldn't believe it happened, Nebraska's up 28-17, got all the momentum in the world, early third quarter, and Scott Frost does an onside kick? What? That might arguably be one of the stupidest, and I mean this, one of the stupidest play calls I've ever seen. And I get it, you're probably just going, oh, he's just saying this for the video, he's exaggerating it. No, it's one of the stupidest things I've ever witnessed personally. When is the best time to do an onside kick? And if you have any IQ whatsoever, if you have any football coach blood in you, you know this. The best time to do an onside kick is when you're wanting to steal momentum, not retain it. I'll give you a great example, and some of you are going to hate me for this, but it's the reason the GOAT is the GOAT. Flashback in time to 2015 when Alabama and Clemson was battling it out in the championship game. They was going back and forth, and Alabama just tied it up 24-24, but still, even though Alabama tied it up, Clemson had the momentum. Why did Clemson have the momentum? Because every team that was getting the ball, they was scoring right after. So what does Nick Saban do in the fourth quarter? He says, okay, if we give them the ball, more than likely they're going to score, so we might as well try an onside kick, get that momentum right back. And to make a long story short, and I'm sure many of you remember this, Alabama, they do the onside kick and they pull it off and they win the championship. That is when, if you're going to have any guts, you do an onside kick. Not when you're up by 11 points, especially in the second half. And this isn't even an example of Nick Saban being a genius, although, yeah, that was one of the best play calls of all time. It's just common sense as to why you don't do an onside kick in the third quarter up by double digits. Moving on, though, and getting back on track, Nebraska, you needed this win because it's a tone setter for the entire year. The first game matters so much. Now that you've lost this game, let's go check out their schedule. I haven't even looked at it. It probably shouldn't be all too hard. Okay, I got it pulled up right here. You do have Oklahoma in a couple of weeks, and as a college football fan with common sense, why should I believe you're even going to have a chance in that game? Outside of that, glancing through, it doesn't seem all too hard. It's not like you're in the SEC. We all know this. The Big Ten is overrated and they suck. You take out Ohio State, they're nothing. For an average football team, I would say you're going to be A-okay, but we're talking about Nebraska. They always disappoint. You only got 3 ranked teams left on the schedule: Michigan, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma. I did watch Illinois play and they looked okay, but they're nothing too special. You look at Nebraska's schedule and you're like, okay, we arguably could have a chance in all of these games outside of Oklahoma and Michigan. And even I think you're going to have a chance in the Michigan game because I don't think Michigan's all too hot. And I'm not too sold on the fact, and I wouldn't write it off in paper, that Oklahoma's going to beat you right away. However, I tell people this time after time, and I think life, it's rather simple. You got winners and you got losers. Winners win, losers lose. I can't explain it and dumb it down any more than that. Somehow, some way in life, losers will always find a way to lose, and somehow, some way, winners will always find a way to win. Growing up with your friends, I'm sure all of you had this one friend, or maybe you're that friend. You're good at everything you touch. You're good at basketball. You're good at football. you're good at baseball, you're good at ping pong, you're good at anything. There is certain people in this life, they are straight up winners. They win at everything. It doesn't matter if it's cornhole, it doesn't matter if it's a race to the mailbox, anything and everything they win at. They're good at it. Like I said, maybe that's you, maybe that's your dad, maybe it's your uncle. I know you know somebody like that. I know what you're sitting there saying, yo, Matt, what in the heck does that have to do with anything? And it has a lot to do with this, because whoever is steering the ship, all of his mentality and just the way he operates is going to go down to the ship leaders. It starts with the head coach. If your head coach is a winner and he is a great leader, then your top players, your captains, they're going to be leaders. And even the guys that aren't too good, they're going to improve. They're going to be winners. They're going to be leaders. But what has happened with Nebraska, and I've been saying this since he's got there, so don't just say, oh, I'm beating a man when he's down. No, I told you since day one, he's not changing nothing because he's not a winner. Nebraska sucks. You know why they suck? It's not because they don't got talent. They got plenty of transfers. They got plenty of talent to win these games, but they suck because their head coach is a loser. I'm not beating a man when he's down. I'm telling you the cold hard truth. And just like Plato said, no one is more hated than he who speaks the truth, so you can hate me all you want. That's enough about Nebraska. I hope you enjoyed your TV time on my channel, because more than likely that will be the last time I even bring you up during the season. There may be one or two other times if there's some news. I don't like talking about Nebraska, and I didn't talk about them last year, and the reason for that is because I told people last year, the year before, that Nebraska sucks and will continue to suck, and people's like, oh, well, you're just hating. Watch, Scott Frost, he's going to turn it around and blah, 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 blah. People call me crazy, they call me stupid, and then fast forward in time to now, they're like, oh, yeah, Matt, you was right. Sorry about that. It pisses me off. You can either A, believe what I'm saying, or B, you can be a naive idiot and get proved wrong. Doesn't matter. You choose. Speaking of idiots, what is this? Somebody DM this to me on Instagram, and I wish I could say I'm shocked, but I'm not. Desmond Howard has been doing this for years now. I don't know why he does this. Maybe he just wants people to talk about him bad. It doesn't make sense to me. Everybody else on ESPN, you can respect their opinion. Kirk Herbstreit, just literally everyone else, you can respect what they say, because they're going to say, okay, we got Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, they're going to be the Final Four. It's always 4 or 5 teams that make a lot of sense, and if you do want to throw a sleeper in there, that's fine. Nobody's going to say nothing about that. But you got Desmond Howard right here saying, okay, Texas A&M, they're going to make it. I don't have a problem with that. That could be your sleeper. But Michigan? Baylor? Pittsburgh? What is this? I absolutely love the fact that Michigan can beat Ohio State one time, and now we're trying to proclaim them in there with the big dogs. No, it doesn't work like that. Just because you work out one day, it doesn't mean you're going to get in shape. Theoretically speaking, just because Michigan beats Ohio State one time in 10 years, it doesn't mean they're better than Ohio State. It don't work like that, Chief, and I'm not going to say too much more about this. You understand it's a joke. I mean, Pittsburgh, are you serious? I'm sorry I'm laughing, but it's so funny. If you watched College Game Day yesterday morning, I can't throw the clips on there because ESPN would try to take down my YouTube channel. But if you saw Lee Corso, oh man, if you saw Lee Corso, it was sad. It honestly was sad to watch. I love Lee Corso to death. The voice is so iconic. I remember waking up as a kid hearing him back when he had excitement, but now it's just like, dang, ESPN, you got to give it up. It's to the point where I'm sure maybe Lee Corso, he might want to be out there, but for his health, he doesn't need to be on TV. For example, you got people saying stuff like this. ESPN should be charged with elder abuse for letting Lee Corso still work. He can barely talk. If you didn't see him talk and you just saw those tweets, you'd probably think it's a joke, but it wasn't. We like to joke around and have fun on this channel, but this is a serious matter. They just really need to take Lee Corso off. It was hard to watch. It's controversial. You also had people saying this, and many people agreed with it. I will not tolerate Lee Corso slander. The man can stay as long as he wants. I'm all for that. I really am. I would love Lee Corso to stay as long as he wants, but it's like he's running on fumes. And it's getting to the point he's just talking to talk. He doesn't even know what he's saying because he literally said word for word, SEC team will not win the SEC this year. Does that really make sense to y'all? An SEC team will not win the SEC. It's not even possible. I am curious about that. Let me know your thoughts down below. Should they just give Lee Corso the boot, or should they allow him to keep going out there? Last but not least, before we end off this very long video, I didn't anticipate it or want it to be this long, but sometimes it happens. The Big Ten has officially reached an agreement with CBS and Fox worth $7 to $8 billion. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. Not 7 to 8 million, 7 to 8 billion. This deal with Fox, CBS, NBC, it will run for 7 years up until 2030. Why am I talking about this? Why am I bringing it up? Why is it such a big deal? Because this means the Big Ten will be getting the SEC song that plays at 2:30 where it goes dun 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 dun. You know what I'm talking about. The iconic SEC song song will now be playing for Big Ten teams. Oh, I hope they retire it, because it would be embarrassing for that song to come on and you're thinking, hey, maybe it's Georgia and Alabama playing it. No, it's just Rutgers and Michigan. Look what somebody said in the comments. Iowa put up 7 points against Illinois on 3:30 CBS. Gonna hit different. They better retire that song. It's a shame. It should not play for anybody else. That is the SEC song. That's pretty much everything I wanted to touch on. There's still so much stuff we gotta go over. Maybe we make another video tomorrow. But road to 1 million!